It feels like everyone is doing well right now. Your feed is full of people winning. Stocks are up, crypto's back, side hustles everywhere. And yet a lot of people still feel broke. That's the strange part. Because on paper, this should feel like a good time, but instead it feels like we're all running faster just to stay in the same place. Over the past year, after reading comments, messages, and watching how people talk about money online, I realized something. It's not that people are failing. It's that we're living inside a wealth illusion. So instead of talking about how to get rich or what to invest in, I want to talk about something more uncomfortable. Why it feels like everyone is getting ahead, even when they're not. On one side, you've got optimism, markets near highs, unemployment relatively low. Everyone knows someone who made money in stocks, crypto, or a business. On the other side, you've got reality. Rent is up, groceries are up, insurance is up, interest payments are up. Debt is quietly piling up, and somehow both of these things are true at the same time, which creates this strange psychological gap where people feel behind, even if they're objectively doing okay. That gap is where the illusion lives. Part of the illusion comes from how success is shown today. Success used to be private, now it's algorithmic. You don't see the millions of people who are doing fine. You don't see the people who saved a little, invested slowly, and built stability over time. You see the tiny percentage doing exceptionally well over and over again. The screenshots, the celebration posts, the this changed my life moments. And when that's all you see, it starts to feel normal, but it's not normal. It's survivorship bias with better lighting. For every person who made a killing on a stock, a crypto trade, or a business, there are thousands who didn't. Just don't post about it. The algorithm doesn't reward quiet progress. It rewards extremes. Over time, that warps your sense of what's typical, and eventually it warps how you judge yourself. Another layer of the illusion is paper wealth. Rising asset prices make people feel richer, but feeling rich and being rich are not the same thing. Your portfolio might be up, your home value might be up, your net worth on paper might look better than ever, but your monthly expenses don't care, your rent doesn't care, your grocery bill doesn't care, your insurance premiums don't care. Unless you sell and downgrade your lifestyle, that wealth doesn't actually change how you live day to day. It just sits there looking impressive on a screen. And the longer asset prices stay high, the easier it becomes to treat unrealized gains as permanent. That's how confidence quietly replaces caution. People start spending against future expectations. They assume today's conditions will last. They assume tomorrow will look like yesterday, and sometimes it does. Until it doesn't, then there's leverage. A lot of what looks like wealth today is built on debt, low monthly payments, long loan terms, optimistic assumptions about income and stability. Leverage makes things look smooth while everything is going right, but leverage doesn't announce itself when things go wrong. People don't look fragile right before they are. They look fine right up until they're not. This is where the illusion becomes dangerous. Because when everyone else seems to be winning, it starts to feel personal. You internalize it. You start thinking you should be further ahead, that you missed something, that everyone else figured it out and you didn't. But the truth is, the system quietly changed. Returns became more uneven, costs became more fixed, and the middle became more fragile. Small group captures a disproportionate share of the upside, while most people experience rising costs without the same asset exposure. So the gap between looking successful and feeling secure gets wider. That's not a personal failure, that's structural. And here's the uncomfortable part. Nobody likes to admit, we're not in a boom. We're not in a bust. We're in a stretch where a small group does extremely well. Most people tread water and everyone compares themselves to the top. It's not collapse, it's stagnation with highlights. And psychologically, that's exhausting because you don't feel like you're losing, but you don't feel like you're winning either. You just feel stuck. And when people feel stuck, they start making decisions from pressure instead of clarity. They chase returns. They take risks they don't fully understand. They stretch themselves thinner than they should, not because they're reckless, but because standing still feels like falling behind. Now, to be fair, there's a counter argument here. Some people really are doing better. Some people genuinely improved their situation, increased income, they invested early, they built businesses that worked, and that matters. This isn't about denying real success. It's about understanding scale. Because when a minority does very well in a highly visible way, it creates the illusion that progress is widespread, even when it isn't. The problem isn't that people are succeeding. The problem is that success has become louder than stability, and stability doesn't trend. It doesn't go viral. It doesn't get screenshots. It doesn't get celebrated. So it slowly disappears from view. That's why the wealth illusion is so powerful. It doesn't require anyone to lie. It doesn't require manipulation. It just requires selective visibility, rising asset prices, easy comparisons, and enough time. So if you felt like you're doing fine, but somehow still feel behind, you're not crazy. You're comparing your real life to someone else's highlight reel, priced in asset values, and borrowed confidence. And the uncomfortable truth is this: most people aren't getting rich, they're just getting better at looking like they are. So I'm curious where you land on this. Do you feel like people around you are actually doing better, or does it just look that way online? Drop your take in the comments and let's see how split everyone really is.